Hello and welcome to my channel on ancient and Chinese astrology. I am a professional astrologer Zagata from the website 100%astrology.com, and I would like to make a detailed video about a free astrological software called Planetdance that I've been really impressed with. I've known about this software for about year and a half or 2 years, and I've been using it regularly. I rely on it, and let me just say that this is going to be a long video. This software is the most comprehensive software that I have seen. As a professional astrologer, I own copies of astrological softwares, and none of them are as detailed as this one. And this one is free, and this one is extremely easy to use. Now let's get to it. Planetdance software. This is the website of John Kramers, and this is, as you see. Now this is where you download Planetdance. I'll be providing links in the description of this video below the YouTube video. And what is important to know is that here, as they explain, these are, by the way, these are people from the Netherlands. These are Dutch people, and as you see, they have instruction videos in English, Dutch, German, Greek, and yes, I already made a video that I'll be publishing about this software in Bulgarian, and now this will be a long video in English as well. So what they explain here is that if you just download and install the software as it is here, you have ephemeris from the 1800 to 2399. But if you want ephemeris for earlier, you have to install this file here. Press here, download, and install it as default, because you make sure you install it here, although the default option is to install it here after you have installed Planetdance. And then you have ephemeris for much longer, but especially for previous centuries, because there are many famous and accomplished people and people worth investigating in previous eras, whose horoscopes are known, whose times of births are known and accurate. And let's get started. So again, download, install, and then there's nothing fancy about installing. Just follow the instructions. You agree to the you consent to the agreement, and then you install Planetdance on local disk C or whatever it shows. It's C. And then okay, so let's it may ask you for default location or something, but this is okay. So this is my chart. The chart that I have selected to use and made for Planetdance. And so first let's get started with the options. Now settings, options, settings, and then we have, so here it is that I'm using the date format, date, month, year, and I'm using Placidus for houses. You can use whole sign or you can use some other quadrant house if you want. I'm using the mean node. There's no debate about this. For those astrologers that really do the necessary research, such as Regulus Astrology, myself, James Braha, and many others, the mean node is the one that works, not the true node. There are 1 degree differences, which is a lot, for transits, for even for directions or solar revolutions, etc. Next, this is important here. Yes, the day and night. Lot of fortune. Also here, for startup, load horoscopes at start, because it will be loading the horoscopes you have here. It will be preserving them. Also here, confirmation. I suggest you do them as I have done it, or possibly this was the default option also, because in this way, when you are editing a given chart, it's asking you, do you want to overwrite it? You just have to click OK, and that's it. You don't have to delete the chart. It's overwriting it for yourself. Extremely helpful. It takes just a few seconds. Next, as you see here, for symbols, I'm using large, because if I go with normal, it's smaller, and if I go with small, it's way too small. Large to be easy on the eyes. Let's see, for colors, I'm using my colors. You can create your own, or you can take a look. You can have black and white. You can have it like this. You can have twilight. You can have rainbow. You can have, you know, I don't even know what it's called, Magi, or anyhow, plenty of. Yes, I'm choosing Zagata, the ones that I agree with me. Yes, let's see. Object size, small or normal. So for objects, the objects are. Let's see. I will explain objects later. Let's move on. Symbol fonts. Default. You can change the symbol fonts, the size. Object size. Okay. Object fonts. Next, zodiac house cusps. Take a look. If you're using whole sign houses, you can select none. You just have the zodiacal images, the signs. House cusps, you can have colors, and these colors can also be changed if you want. I'm using house cusps because when I use quadrant divisions, I want to see the house cusps. Aspect table, none. You can have symbol, or you can have with declinations. I don't want any of this. Elements table, simple. Over here, declinations. I don't want any of this. For elements table, tab bar, I want it on the top here. You can have it on the bottom, as you see here. You can have none of it, or I want to see it on the top. Okay, let's see. Because you keep seeing objects. So let's see. So declinations, skipping objects for the objects are what you select to be shown outside the chart. I'll show you. So declinations, I want to see declinations here. For take a look here, they will disappear when I yes, I want to see planetary positions in the chart, because you can remove them. You can have just the planets by signs. Transits at status bar here. I don't want to see this because this is interfering of when I also horary professional astrology. I don't want to know the placements of the planets. I want to be surprised, so to say, when I look at the horary chart. So that's why I don't want to see them. Show degree bar. I don't need this. Include objects. Show latitude. Very important, folks. Ancient astrologers were unanimous. When planets are in opposition or even in conjunction, their latitude is extremely important, because if they have a different latitude, in other words, if one is south and the other is north of the ecliptic, the aspect is not as strong and damaging or helpful in the case of the opposition of the conjunction. Also with fixed stars, Hermes and many other ancient astrologers, they're explicit. When you're directing planets to stars, they have to have the same latitude for the effect to be as potent. Show files. Here, there is this. I don't want this. Show time zone and date. Here, yes. Show house system on top over here. I want to see the house system. Draw sidereal after name. Yes, I don't use it, but yes, don't draw aspect lines. I don't want to see so don't draw. If you don't select this, you will have them. I don't need this in my chart. Show seconds on declinations. I don't need aspect symbols or aspect lines, because when you draw them, you have the symbols as well. I don't want this. Show coordinates of place. Yes, coordinates of the location. I want to see the coordinates. Center house cusp numbers, whether you want to center them or not. Yeah, let's have them centered. Draw extra house circle. See, let's have it drawn. No axis in whole sign houses. Let's see what the change is if we select whole sign houses. No axis. And if we have the axis, you see it's keeping you should have the axis. I want the axis in whole sign houses. horizontal ascendant, let's see this. Yes, I want that in whole sign houses. Draw ascendant midheaven. I want this. You will need this for whole sign houses. But if you're not using whole sign houses, we don't need to see the ascendant and the midheaven twice. So as it is here, show seconds. No color text in list. I don't want to color text. Abbreviate text always used. Capital for retrograde. Yes, use capital for all for out of bounds. Show buttons. Yes, toolbar. I want the toolbar on the top, because if it's none, we don't have any toolbar. I prefer to have it on the top. As you see, you can have it right, you can have it bottom, you can have it left. Want to see it on the top. Yes, here I've selected for Planetdance to be showing me this. In other words, fixed star conjunctions, also the dwats, in other words the 12 parts, and also the lot of spirit, daimon in Greek. Also you can customize the distance to the chart. Take a look here. First of all, the font. When I reduce the font gets smaller. Obviously it can get bigger. Also the position, take a look. When I reduce the position, it's moving closer and closer. I don't want this to be as close. I want some distance. I can have more distance even if I want to. Let's, depending on the font, careful because it will change. No, this is too much now. Let's keep it like this. And let's see, receptions, if you want receptions, make sure you have enough. Void, of course, dominant, planetary hour, ecliptic dignities, dwats. I want the dwats, yes. Antitia elements. Make sure you have the font here is big enough for the program to fit everything you want. Okay. For example, yes, I'm not using Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, and if I include them, you will not be able to see all of them, all of their you will see diamond here. Spirit will be covering the 12 parts of the Trans-Saturnian planets because I'm using a bigger font. You have to take this into account. No houses, sunrise, sunset. There is sunrise. There is moonrise, moonset. I don't need this in. I don't need this shown. Patterns. I don't need half kite. You see here. These are modern. I'm not interested in that. I'm just showing what this amazing program. Mutants or victors. I don't use them. Bounds. I use Egyptian. Triplicity. Sect based. Yeah, sure. Why not? Okay, next, let's I will get back to this just a second. Close. Let's go to options, objects. Now these objects here, these are the objects. My only object is the south node. This I would have liked for the planet. In fact, I will ask the developers to include the south node here because it's a very important point, or even planet for Indian astrology. I want to be able to see it in the chart. Obviously, it's always opposite, exactly opposite the north node, but still. So the aspects you can. I've selected obviously the classical aspects. I mean, they're the only aspects actually, because if you study the history of astrology, you will know that Kepler, a few hundred years ago, he included some of these minor aspects with the purpose of predicting meteorological weather, not nativities, etc. Anyhow. So you can, as you see here, I have the south node. You can have Lilith, you can have asteroids, you can have fictional planets, planetary nodes, other planets, whatever these are called. Anyhow, these are modern innovation. That's fine. Whoever wants to use them, go right ahead. Next. Yes, for planets aspects, this is important because you will notice, as I said, I don't use Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. I haven't used them for. I mean, I stopped using them for over 10 years ago. But if I want to see them in some charts, for example, some mundane charts or some horary questions that pertain to the whole world, if I care to use them to be able to see them, we go to options, planets, aspects, single wheel. which is what I'm using. And then take a look. You need to select them. Select Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. I don't want Chiron, I don't want Lilith. And then go OK. Here they are. And also here they also the planet shows them here as positions. So here they are. And this is Novak Djokovic chart, the greatest tennis player in history and one of the greatest athletes, who is very, very counter to the status quo, and he has won the support of millions, of tens of millions of people worldwide. Anyhow, I have other charts as well that I'll be showing you, but let me same thing for B wheel. If again I'm using ancient astrology, so it's not that I can't use Uranus, Neptune, Pluto because I don't have where to put them. Anyhow, if you want to put them, if you want to use them in B wheels, just select them as here and press OK. But I don't want to do that. So is that here on? Yes, I want the south, the north node. Yes, the ascendant midheaven, the lot of fortune. Okay. Next, so let's get to settings. Let's continue here. Extra. The rulerships here. If you're using the correct rulerships, I mean the classical rulerships, make sure to I don't know what the default is here, but make sure to change this, because if you're using some sort of table for some results, some mutants, etc., make sure you have them correctly set. Here you can have you see the ascendant MC line thickness. We can increase it, we can decrease it. I want this increased for the ascendant and MC. Aspect line thickness, I don't care about that. Draw thickness. So we have here options. I'm not gonna, I like it as it is, but here also you can, let's see, points. I'm not sure what this is, for what it's used. The program is so huge, but anyhow, layout. Yes, here you can have you can customize the wheel. Take a look. When I start enlarging here, this starts getting wider. The house number, is this house number? Yes, the house numbers get this is fine. Position, you see we're getting the degrees, the glyphs and the minutes closer. Now we can move them further away from the planets. The planet, we're also moving the planets. Take a look at the glyphs. We're also moving the planets. That's fine. Zodiac, we're using that's fine. Most of these are default. Anyhow, you can switch house number, planets, horoscope center. You can move the chart to the left or to the right. Center is 0. That's fine. Not gonna bother with this. Let's go on, because so fixed stars, extremely important. Planetdance allows the user to select hundreds and hundreds of stars. I mean, a choice of hundreds and hundreds of stars. I myself use the stars all the time, and I want to be able to select whatever stars I deem important. And so I've selected up to magnitude 4. You can have up to whatever, I mean magnitude, it's generally up to magnitude 3, but there are some powerful stars that are magnitude 4 that are used, that can show blindness or extreme lust, such as, wanting to have sex outside, or with many people, or with boys and girls, or with homosexual or bisexual, or even with animals, referring to Anonymous of the year 379. These configurations with stars, and a lot of the stars he gives are of lower magnitude. And also, yes, there are stars also of as I said, of blindness, or of of diseases that signify even death, some nebulous or some malefic stars, etc. I want to be able to select them, and fortunately Planetdance allows the user to configure the settings. Also the declination orb again, strict traditionalist again. Some astrologers, even the traditional historical figures, they used way too high, too wider orbs. I mean, ancient sources tell us 1 degree orb. That's it, folks. Anything above 1 degree is stretching it a lot. Sure, there are exceptions. The only exceptions are when a given planet is conjunct an angle. That's when we can enlarge the orb somewhat, because the orb and this planet is conjunct an angle and a star. That's when we can enlarge the orb. Other than that, it's 1 degree. Anyhow, you can change it. I've selected the stars. I have saved them, as you see here. Load or save. Great feature. Classic. The bound ring, you can use Egyptian. I use Egyptian bounds. These they're actually from Babylon, but anyhow, so none. I don't want the bounds because I know them by heart and it's cluttering my chart. Second ring, decans. I don't use decans for the dignity. I don't need them cluttering my chart. I know them by. I prefer the Oriental decans. Nakshatras. You can use the nakshatras. You can see the nakshatras, but you have to know the glyphs. Or Dwat's 12 parts. I know the 12 parts also by heart. I don't need them. But the point is, the program is allowing the user to configure the chart however they want to. Let's see, Enigma. Yes, this is the glyphs. I want, yes, use Enigma in list. Use Enigma font possibly. No, I don't want to use Enigma font because take a look how smaller the chart became. Okay, everything became smaller. No, thank you. Yes, this is the glyph for Capricorn that I want. This is the glyph for Mars, for Jupiter, for Saturn, for Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, and for Chiron. Or you can have other glyphs. By the way, these are some of the traditional glyphs, if you're wondering, because the developers of the program are, they're so knowledgeable that I haven't seen this anywhere else. Alternative glyphs for the planets, folks, not for the yes. Okay. So close. Let's see, planets, orbs. You can change the orbs here if you want to, depending on again what you're using. I haven't bothered with this because anyhow, objects default place. You can put. I've put my location, Russia, Bulgaria, but you can choose any location. This program has an atlas, an inbuilt atlas, which is great, very helpful. Let's see. Edit places. Yes, also great. You can edit the atlas and you can also add a location that's not if it happens not to be present within the atlas of Planetdance. Next, edit color symbols. Yes, you can do that. Toolbar. You can add and remove stuff from here. Amazing. I don't pay attention to this. I want the chart to be clear. I want the program and the chart to be easy on the eyes, which is why I have made it so. It's extremely easy for me to orient myself. Among all this data. Oops, you see something went wrong here. Let's close the program. I see Uranus here. What is this doing here? Let's open the program. Interesting. Let's see settings. Or is it objects? No, it's not objects. Settings. Let's see general. Oh, you see, folks, because I have not removed Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, and I'm using a larger font so that it would be easy on my eyes. So single wheel. Take a look now. When I remove them, you see, now it's showing all the dots and the diamond, the lot of spirit where it falls in this chart. You have to pay attention because again I'm using a larger font because I want this to be easy on my eyes, and I have calculated it because again I'm using the same chart with the same number of planets so that my settings are correct. Let's see. Next, keyboard, bookmarks, you can have delete key, edit key, you can have some shortcuts here. I haven't changed anything here, but you can do that. Let's see. Yes, we're done with options. Let's so what shall I show you first? Well, I'd like to show you the features for modern astrology. Then I will show you the features for Indian astrology, and then I will show you the features for what ancient astrology, which is Hellenistic and medieval and early and traditional, European Renaissance, etc. So let's get started. So what do we have in traditional astrology? Well, we have secondary progressions, which are an ancient technique. We have mentioned in Valence, book 9. We have solar arcs, which is a few hundred years old actually. We have transits. We have eclipses and lunations. We have tertiary progressions. We have solar returns, as they call them, solar revolutions. And there are some other ones, but let's open Angelina Jolie, for example, chart. And so we go to horoscope, and then let's see, progression. Take a look at how many progressions you have here. All you have to do is click return, solar return, or any of the others. Let's do solar return. What's that? H47. Why is that? Because it's for this year. So close. Disregard here precession, because we're not using precession. If you want to use precession, I would use Lahiri or Krishnamurti, because as I showed here in my video, the Babylonian zodiac is inaccurate. The Aldebaran 15 Ayanamsha is inaccurate compared to the Indian Ayanamshas. I showed a real chart of a client whose chart I have rectified to the second, and the ascendant is different depending on whether one uses Aldebaran 15 or Fagan Bradley. It's pretty much the same, versus Lahiri or Krishnamurti. So I would not use anyhow. So we're not using precision. So close. Sorry, I made a mistake. So return, solar return. Start, sorry, not start, close, start. As we see, Angelina Jolie, solar return, 2022. And this is the solar return, Scorpio ascendant, which is the ninth house, the fifth house relative to Cancer. The ascendant is in the ninth, etc., etc. Solar, as you see, solar Angelina Jolie. Let's see. Yes, so let's get to the modern stuff. We have here. We have actually before I do that, if you want to add a chart, you go to File and then Radix, or Control and plus R, as you see, Control plus R, and then we can name a chart tomorrow, just for the sake of fun. And so you can either use the mouse or you can use the tab button. I'm used to the tab button because I'm using this software very regularly. So the 15th of October, you see, they also have a calendar, which is also helpful. And the clock they're using is 24-hour clock, so it's not AM PM. That's fine. I would rather have AM PM, but anyhow, let's put 9 AM, 9:05, whatever. And the country, this is my default location, but we can put, let's put the Netherlands. And let's put, Groningen. The good people of of Planetdance are sending greetings from Groningen. So let's calculate the chart. Here we have Placidus houses and not sidereal but tropical, because it's none. And if you want to change it, you can change it. And it's showing amazing. You see, it's showing the ascendant. That the ascendant is 2 degrees Scorpio. The sun is at 21 Libra, so the sun is in the etc. So here it is. And now all we have to do is save changes, okay, and the chart will be saved, or cancel, don't save it. So I don't want to save it. And here with file, if you want to open the chart database, you press open, and it will open the chart database. Not just that, I'm not going to do that because I have private data here of clients, of people, etc., and it's showing all the data. But when you see open, when you press open, it will show you not just the names, but all the personal data, as well as the placements of the the ascendant, etc., the planetary placements. Okay. So let me delete that. It's as easy as that. And yes, if you want to let's see, open save wheel. For this particular, I'm not sure how to save a chart. I mean, how to save it as a picture. I myself use a free software called Screen Hunter, and when I press F6, just as I'm doing now, I can do a screenshot of the whole screen, and it comes to my desktop right here. You see, here it is. Or I can do a screenshot of the selected part of the screen. But with other wheels, with other modules, there is a button to save the chart. But anyhow, that's so. So continuing, if you want to have a composite chart, with midpoints, with combine, multi-combine. Again, this is modern stuff. I don't use it, but synastry. This is useful, obviously. So by wheel, we can have Brad Pitt in the inner chart, and in the outer chart Angelina Jolie. Just press OK, and now we have Brad Pitt on the inner side. Let's show you. Brad Pitt has Sagittarius ascendant, as you see, and Angelina Jolie is on the outside. She has over here. She has Cancer ascendant, and let's see. Interesting. Why am I not seeing? Or is it because it's not showing them planets aspects by wheel? It's not showing the ascendant. I don't see the ascendant and the midheaven. Okay, let's see if we go to whole sign houses, whether it will show the ascendant and the ascendant of the second wheel. Yes, save changes. Yes, now Angelina Jolie will be saved with, but I need to just a second. I need to display the. Draw ascendant midheaven. I need to draw them here so that they're seen. So the chart is with whole sign houses, and let's do the same with Brad Pitt. Right button if you want to edit the chart, or just go to horoscope and edit. So right button, edit, whole sign houses, save changes. Yes, this is the default Planetdance. Do it here. I would rather, it is very easy. And let's see now. Go to file, synastry, by wheel. Yes. No, it's again, I guess this is how the planet shows them in this particular bi-wheel, because there are other bi-wheels. In other words, this is the ascendant, you see, and this is Angelina Jolie's ascendant. Okay, so let's switch to Placidus or some other quadrant. I prefer Placidus. My respect to the Indian astrologers who they compared Porphyry with Placidus, and they showed and proved that Placidus is more accurate. For timing of house cusps, Placidus is more accurate than Porphyry houses. That's why I switched to I got to know some Indian astrologers, Krishnamurti types, etc. They and I'm grateful for them, because I've used Regiomontanus, I've used Alcabitius, etc. Now I'm using Placidus. Okay, let's remove the ascendant in the midheaven, because we're using quadrant now. Okay, so let's see what else. Synastry, yes, a multi-chart. We can have let's see, multi-chart. Yes, when you press multi-chart, it will show you two charts side by side, or three charts, or four charts. When you want a bi-wheel, I showed you bi-wheel. When you want a tri-wheel, it will show you a tri-wheel, which is you can have, as you see here, you can have you have to, so right button, horoscope 2, add horoscope, Angelina Jolie. Okay, so this is Brad Pitt, this is the outside is Angelina Jolie. You see the ascendant here is shown, and here is Brad Pitt's ascendant, and the third horoscope is, we can have, let's see, transits, current transits, and these are, when we press animate here, we can, you see, take a look at the transit here. We are moving the transits. I'm not moving the transits, I'm moving Angelina Jolie's chart, actually, not the transits. You see, Angelina Jolie's chart is the one that's moving here. Why is that? Add horoscope, let's add Angelina Jolie here in the second, and here horoscope 3, add solar arc Brad Pitt. And now if we're moving with months, sorry, you have to click animate, obviously. Now it's animating, and if we stop animating, you see the most external chart is moving, which are Brad Pitt's, you see, solar arcs. Stop animate and start doing it by, yes, if we start moving by years, take a look. Yes, it's working, of course it's working. Next, if we want to use let's see, I will extra, this is showing further information about parallels or something, you know, additional information. I'm not gonna bother with this. You see, there are so many options. Let's see what else. Well, for the modern stuff, I showed you the right button, the progressions, secondary progressions, etc. Like here, let's say Brad Pitt's chart, file, synastry, go to transit, Radix transit progression, and here we can have, again, we can choose transits and solar arcs, or we can choose calculate progression. Now it's showing a separate chart, sorry about that, so it's not so options, let's see, progression, yes, secondary progressions. Now it will change, take a look, it will change solar arcs here to secondary progressions. You see, the transits will remain, and so we're seeing that Brad Pitt he's having a Saturn return. He's been having a Saturn return. We're also seeing that, let's see, the moon already opposed the natal ascendant, but transiting Mars is opposing his natal sun, just as an example. But there are so many aspects that yes, and secondary progressed Mars is sextiling his sun very closely, etc., etc. Let's see. What else? Well, yes, when we press time, we can have a calendar. So this calendar is to see for the month of October. If we want, we can change it to September to move it forward, etc. Right click, options, and then we can have, this is how I have configured it for myself. I want the eclipses, I want moon phases, I want void, of course, I want retrograde, I want ingresses, and I want the traditional 7 planets. I want the traditional aspects. That's what I want. You can include the trans-Saturnian planets, you can include the natal ascendant, but it will clutter the chart so much that, but yeah, trans-Saturnian planets, if you, yes, this is the font, you can increase the font also, but so go, this is how it is. And for example, we see that when we, so for November 2022, we see that, so the lunar phase, you see it's so this is the opposition, this is the full moon, and let's see, where is the eclipse? We have an eclipse in let's see, it's actually late November, late October, I mean, when the sun is, so here is an eclipse, you see E for eclipse, sun conjunct moon, and there is an eclipse at 207 Scorpio, and etc., etc. Mercury will be trine Mars, Jupiter will be here, so this should be Jupiter turning direct in Pisces, making second station, and I will yes, and for example, for going to October, yes, Mars will turn retrograde on the 30th of October, and also another, speaking of this, there is another useful feature when we go time flower. This, you can select planets and aspects, and for example, take a look, Mars and Jupiter. I've selected Mars and Jupiter and also the traditional aspects, and we see that Mars will turn retrograde on the 30th of October 2022 there is 2536 Gemini, and Jupiter will turn direct on the 24th of November at 28 Pisces direct. And you can when the more planets you select, with the moon, don't select the moon, because yeah, Venus, Saturn, or just leave Jupiter and Saturn, I mean the superior planets, or you add the sun, etc. Right click, font size increase, or right click, font size decrease. I want to see the superior planets, I don't want to see the sun. And you see their aspect, their ingresses. See, Mars entered Pisces on the 15th of April this year, and Mars entered Aries on the 25th of May. It entered Gemini on the 20th of August, and it will stay in Gemini for a long time. If we fast forward here, the arrow, it will fast forward 1 year. Take a look now, it's 2022, it will go to 2023 and backwards 2021, etc. Very useful feature. Let's see, menu, animate, year. Yes, this is what we can use. I have yes, I have some suggestions on this, on how to incorporate more features on this one. Let's see. Well, this was cartography. You have astrocartography, you have, you know, relocation and the planetary lines where they fall. This is also very interesting. It's amazing that you can zoom in, etc., etc. You can have a map, etc. Let's see, time, ephemeris, fixed stars. You know, you can take a look. There are so many that you can. It's loading. No, I'm not gonna bother because there are so many that anyhow you can choose how many stars you want. I mean, harmonic, interpretations, transits, midpoints. If you're using midpoints, I don't use midpoints, but they've included even this amazing moving wheel. This is live wheel, objects. As this is the default option, you can use asteroids and fictional, etc. Print, progressions, I showed you the progressions, returns I showed you, rulers, yes. Let's see, various. Here you have other features. Most of these I've never even heard of. These are modern innovations. I'm not familiar with them at all. Anyhow, I'm not interested. I'm just showing you because okay. So that's pretty much it for yes, duplicate, and so let's go to Novak Djokovic. So for this chart, so right button, duplicate, and it will duplicate the chart here. I want again. Now we have 3 times Novak Djokovic's nativity with duplicate. Yes, so time, moon phase. Yes, very useful here, find eclipse, because the other free software that they don't include the eclipse information, which is you know, which is a disadvantage for the user. This is very important. You can have let's see, I want to have it for 15 years starting from 20, so not for 15, for 18 years from 2008. Go, you see it's starting from this date, and it's showing you the type of eclipse, solar, lunar, whether it's partial, full, etc. For example, next year, let's check whether the program is accurate. Next year in April there will be a solar eclipse at 29 Aries, I believe. Let's see, 2023. You see, 20th of April, 29:53 Aries. It's accurate. Of course it's accurate. It's Swiss ephemeris. Options. You have options. Calculate. Place. That's location. Sofia. I played with the settings. Let me choose Russia. My location. 2,000-year-old almost city founded by the Romans. Close. Next. Let's see, I believe I showed you everything in terms of the modern stuff. Planetary hour, that's very useful for, again, here, place. This is my location. For font size, I want to increase the font size. This is very useful for horary astrology, for electional astrology, for daily work, for astrological magic, even if you will, etc. The planetary hour based on the location. Next, planetary hour, moon phase. Well, see, it's not. Obviously we have the Bulgarian alphabet here called Cyrillic incorrectly, but so let's use Enigma font. so that it will show you the glyphs. And I want to see the glyphs, not we're not using the Latin alphabet. I prefer the glyphs as an astrologer. New moon, full moon, etc., etc. Next, planetary hour, query, seasons. Yes, that's useful. Font size reduce. I want to see the seasons. I want to see the seasons. So again, my location, Bulgaria. So autumn, it started on the, oh, amazing, folks. Take a look what happened. It calculated a chart and showed you the chart for so with, again, time, seasons, and let's say I want to see spring next year. Press on spring equinox. My location, Russia, Bulgaria, the sun at 0 Aries. So easy, so effortless, amazing. Next, let's see, Gibson. Okay, so seasons, set and rise, very useful. We want to see the sunrise every day. We want to see the moonrise, etc., etc. You see rise, culmination, settings. Oh wait, let's say the angles, a given planetary body. But let's use the sunset. Okay, location is my location. Next, of course, you will configure it to your own location. Needless to say, tools. This is for later. Well, yeah, actually tools. Let's see, wheel. Yeah, so ending with the modern stuff. Although that's not just modern. Here we have some things I'm not familiar with, but hypothetical points, ephemeris, etc., etc. So this here, lifetime directions and progressions. This is very useful. I believe Jean has a video about this developer of this software. Let's see, I've selected Mars. You can select more. You can let's select Venus. You will see, first of all, this is Mel Gibson, American actor Mel Gibson. He has Venus in the 8th in Aquarius, and there is Venus. And Venus over the next 100 years, this is the, what's that, the solar arc Venus, where it's going. You can have secondary progressed Venus, where it will go, but you know, Venus is the wrong planet here. Mars. Let's pick a planet whose motion is not very close to the sun's. So, or let's even pick Jupiter. He has natal Jupiter at 1 degree Virgo, and as we see here, Jupiter is in there is Jupiter, and where it will be going, it will be retrograding backwards, obviously. And don't so when I'm pointing here, be checking here at the top. Take a look how the program is showing you as time progresses where Jupiter will be. Very useful. Of course, if we pick more planets, if we pick Mercury, there is Mercury. He has Mercury in Capricorn. I believe yes, 29 Capricorn, because it's a little, yes, Capricorn, and where it will be going. Again, take a look at here on the top as I'm moving the mouse. See, over the years. You see here, Mercury will come to the midheaven in 2037, right? Mercury will come to the midheaven, and etc. You can choose more planets. Obviously, you can pick Mars. So, for example, when Mars will come to the, this should be the descendant. 20. Again, seeing on top, 2029 or something. Calculate chart. Secondary progressions. No, I did something wrong here. Yes, obviously I did something wrong here. When I press 2030, let's see, secondary year, sorry, here 2030, calculate, Mars should be, and now when I go to calculate chart, I've 2030, it should be 4. Yeah, so Mars is not quite opposite the ascendant, because his Mel Gibson's ascendant is at 1459 Cancer. So we should forward again. It's because this thing is showing 100 years. It's a little difficult to yeah, yes, let's see, 2036, calculate chart. Yes, now Mars is at the ascendant. Yes, it's even, yeah, 2035 or something, but you get the drift. Lifetime. Yes, the other thing is again with tools, lifetime solar returns, solar revolutions, very useful here. It can show you, again, you can reduce, right click here, and font size you can increase or you can decrease if you want to see all of them, but I don't want to see all of them because it's hurting my eyes. The font gets so smaller. I prefer it easier on the eyes. Increase. Yes, as long as I see the move, the midheaven in the ascendant, the rest is. So let's see. This is Jupiter. Let's see, in his case, when Jupiter will be, for example, conjunct the midheaven of Mel Gibson's chart. Here is the midheaven at 24 Pisces. So Jupiter, looking here, take a look again. When I'm moving the mouse, be looking up here. So 1999 and 2011. So 1999 here, 1999. Go to the chart, calculate return. Jupiter is at 22 Pisces. Let's go to 2011. Calculate return. Jupiter is at 26 Pisces. Now Jupiter is again, his Mel Gibson's is at 24. So now it's, yes. So this is how you do it. And obviously, when you use more planets, Mars. Let's see when Mars will, for example, come to the ascendant. Mars will come to the ascendant. (2014). Right, let's see. No, that's actually, that should be Jupiter. So Mars is what? 1992. No, it's not. I'm getting the dots here wrong. Let's remove Jupiter and leave just Mars. Calculate return. Let's see. Am I missing something here? These should be solar revolutions. Why 2039? Calculate return. No, I'm missing something here. It's this should be alright, so 1994. the midheaven 2035, Mars should be, no, it's, I'm, well, let's close this and go right ahead. Tools, lifetime solar returns, Mars. So let's remove this radix planets, house lines. No, I want to see the house lines. So again, Mars 2034, this should be yes, as you see 2034, when we go calculate return, Mars is at 23 Pisces, and again Mel Gibson's solar midheaven is at 24 Pisces. So this was, yes, so here 1993, it should be close to the natal ascendant. 1993 Mars, yes, 19 Cancer, as you see. Natal ascendant is at 15 Cancer. It's not as yeah. And if Mars is transiting the Moon for, is at the solar return, 2043. Let's see here, 1995. 1995. Let's see, 1995. No, it's I think some of these could be transits, or so 1995 Mars is so Mars is transiting Jupiter, not 1994. Select it here. Let's do another one. Let's see when Mars is transiting the Sun in the solar revolution. So this one 2024, but you see it showing a date. Take a look here, it's showing a date here, 13th of 9th of October 2025. Not so. So what's going on here? This should be, I mean, I've only selected Mars here as a planet, and this point here 2024. Not so interesting. What am I doing wrong? Here Mars will be conjunct Mars will be at 14 Capricorn, conjunct the descendant and the Sun. What year is this? 2026. So do we see 2026 here? (2024). Let's see, 2026. Calculate return. 2026. Mars is conjunct the Sun, and guess I must be doing something wrong here with the lifetime stuff. I'm not noticing something, or 2025. Yeah, or perhaps the cursor is not as accurate, and I'm yeah, there is something that I'm Shall we try one more thing to make sure we get it right? Saturn, when Saturn will come to the ascendant. So what's that here, this point? 22nd of May 1975. So right button, calculate return. Saturn is at 15 Cancer, yes, conjunct the ascendant. So this is when Saturn will be conjunct the moon, the so-called Sarasadi, or yeah, even the Indians, yeah, the sign before the moon, the sign after the moon. Let's see, is it this one? 2038. It's probably not this one, but why not? It should be this one. Calculate return. Saturn is at 16. Should be next year, I guess, 2039. Calculate return. Saturn is at 29. Yes, Saturn is at 29 Libra. Virgo, and the moon is at 0 Libra, I believe, in his chart. Yes. So 2039. Again, this is the cursor is very sensitive. My mistake. Anyhow, so this is a very useful feature. Next, so let's get down to the how far ahead are we? 1 hour. Okay, so let me show you the Indian astrology features. I myself use Parashara from time to time, and it's not I'm not offering this to clients, to the public, etc. I am specialized in ancient and Chinese astrology, not Indian astrology. But anyhow, I really appreciated that that Planetdance offers Indian astrology, incorrectly called Vedic. It's not Vedic, because it's just 2000 years old as ancient astrology. But anyhow, let's I'm talking about horoscopic astrology. So let's do Vedic horoscope, and here we have charts, selecting a chart. We have chart style. I'm using the North Indian. You can use the South Indian. You can use Neo-Vedic, anyhow Western. You can use Nakshatra wheel, also very useful. Let's get it back to North. Display options, glyphs, as it is with degrees only, or you can have the text, as many Indian astrologers prefer to have the text. And also, so this is 3, this is Gemini ascendant, Lagna. I want to see the glyphs. Let's see, Namsha. No, it's not Fagan, it's Lahiri. Okay. Here I use the tropical for ancient astrology and the sidereal for Indian. Next, Lagna chart. You can have, yes, derived houses from the sun as ascendant, from the moon, as they call it, Chandra Lagna, from Rahu, from Ketu, etc. These are some calculations, etc. I'm not gonna bother here. Analysis, this is useful here. Data, this is useful. Let's see the nakshatras. I really like this one here because it's showing you see, we see that the ascendant falls in Punarvasu, and the moon falls in Uttara Palguni, etc., and the sun falls in Purvashadha, etc. It's very useful to you can see it right away. Let's see, graphs, planetary strength, speed, etc. Very useful. Okay, if we want, so again, right button, Vedic, the Vimshotari, Dashas and Bhuktis, the periods and sub-periods, you can see them here. Ayanamsha, the Huri, okay. Year options, yes, you can select. I'm using the astronomical year. And as you see here, it's showing you the primary planet, secondary planet, the Dasha, the Bhukti, primary planet, secondary planet, etc. Start the end. Very useful, and you can have it like this if you want to see the we should be able to do it like this. You can have the chart and the dashes side by side, in fact like this. And in fact, if you want, you can have we have, yes, rulerships here at the placements. You can have the Vargas, which are the divisional charts. Let's see, the Navamsha being most important, you can have it like this. So you can have the natal chart, the D9 chart, the marriage chart, and then you can have the dashes, or like that. But I would prefer to see it like this. I mean like this, side by side. Or I want to see also not just the D9 chart for marriage and relationships. I want to see the D7 chart for children. Here is the D7 chart. For example, Mel Gibson has many children. I think 7 children, or even it could even be 8 children. And yeah, so we see that I'm gonna bother, but the Lord of the Fifth, although it's in the 8th, it's conjunct benefic Mercury. It's aspected by exalted Jupiter, and Jupiter rules the 5th house of the D7 chart. And we also see that Jupiter is aspecting the 5th house, which is extremely positive, and Venus, another benefic, is in the ascendant. So but anyhow, let's not this video, the purpose of this video is not to okay. So next, right click Vedic. You can have Jaimini horoscope. Again, you have, I know nothing about Jaimini except that they use the signs are more important than the planets. It's a separate system. I'm not gonna bother display options, texts or glyphs, or I mean, amazing. They have Varga charts, Padas. I don't even know what this is. Anyhow, it's for such astrologers for free, folks, for free. Next, Vedic Gemini. Let's see Nakshatras charts. This is also very useful. Nakshatras listing, as I showed you here, very useful. Ayanamsha, Lahiri, Nakshatras, Ayanamsha. So in other words, or you can have none. You can have tropical planets and sidereal Ayanamshas, Lahiri, or can you, or can't you? Let's see, the ascendant is chart Ayanamsha, none. Nakshatras Ayanamsha, Lahiri. So let's see whether this will work. No, it doesn't. There are some astrologers, quite a few of them actually, that use tropical planetary positions and sidereal obviously for the nakshatras, because there are many Indian classical sources that use the tropical and not just use but endorse the tropical zodiac over the sidereal zodiac. I've spoken about this. I have videos about in my video about the sidereal and tropical zodiac, what you're not being told. Here I give resources for astrologers, some astrologers that use the tropical zodiac, astrologers that use the sidereal zodiac, etc, etc. Okay, let's get back to Planetdance. So okay, so Indian, let's see, horror, these are some other, this is the 12-part charts. You can see it in the wheel. etc, etc. Display options, calculation options, etc. Also, I collaborated with Ed from also a programmer at Planetdance, and we did here when we go to RC1, I believe we have this here KP methods, KP astrology, the sublords of Krishnamurti. He programmed them so you can have them. So this is from 0 to 360. He programmed them in this way. And also American astrologer Jyotishi with Indian astrology Simon Chukoisky, his book Sports Gambler's Dharma. Here is possibly 90% of his method, or something like that, almost everything, and it's calculating it for you for free, the program. It's saving a lot of time, you know. Okay, so this was it for Indian astrology. Let's get to the parts that I find most useful, and the reason why I'm using this program very regularly. Let's see, what shall I start with? Well, let me start with let's get to Brad Pitt. One of I showed you here the stars. These are by zodiacal longitude that I have configured and how to do that. But we can go to horoscope, fixed stars. These are my settings, conjunctions, not just conjunctions, not aspects, and no declination, magnitude, orb, etc. When you increase the orb, you have more and more stars, etc, etc. Not gonna bother with this. I will, but the point is that these are conjunctions by longitude. If you know what parants are, paranettelonta, in other words, fixed stars, degrees of the fixed that are far from the ascendant, far from the ecliptic, and they are. You can, for example, take a look. Novak Djokovic. Here you will see that he has the star Vega, which is the alpha star of the Lyra constellation. Vega conjunct the ascendant. Vega at 1509 Capricorn with precession, tropical, and the ascendant is at 1604 Capricorn. But Vega is very, very north of the ecliptic. So this is just a zodiacal projection of this star. It's I would not count it as valid myself. But anyhow, the point is that, let's go to Brad Pitt. They're with parents, you cannot see them. You have to calculate them, and very few programs do that correctly. And in fact, when I was collaborating with Ed of Planetdance, I asked him to program parents. And what I mean is, if you're familiar, there is an Australian astrologer, Bernadette Brady. She popularized parents, but the way she did it was wrong, not traditional, because we have sources. I'm referring to Anonymous of the year 379, and the way the parents are supposed to be used. You're supposed to be using parents only within the nativity. You're not projecting the nativity forward or backward. You're not fast forwarding the planets to angles. Okay, you're not doing that, because otherwise you get 20, 30, 40 contacts per chart, which is ridiculous, you know. If you have a parent, that's great, but most people don't. Again, the traditional way they were supposed to be used, and we have sources and we have horoscopes that prove that. I'm not picking a bone here with Brady. Anyhow, so the point is, I'm extremely grateful for to Ed and Jean of Planetdance, because Ed programmed the parents. And to illustrate, let's see. This is the point is that I have let's see. If you're familiar with Bulgarian astrologer Rumen Kolev and astronomer and translator, he has a program Porphyry Magus. His program, I have it, it's a professional software paid version. His program is calculating parents, but it's extremely difficult for the user. For example, let's see, I should let's open it. Let me show you. So if we go to mundane, and if we open Brad Pitt, here is the chart of Brad Pitt, and let me just, yes, 1154 Sagittarius, to make sure it's the right chart. As you see, 1154 Sag, and so I want to see the parents, whether they're fixed star parents. Let me remove the zodiac and the stars so that it's clearer. So this is the actually the stars. Yes. So Rumenkolev's program, on the one hand, is extremely useful. For example, you see that this is the horizon line, this is the meridian, and we see that we have, you see here, Sirius. We have Sirius conjunct the horizon. In this case, it's the western horizon. So we have Sirius in parent to the horizon. However, be very careful about this, because this is not showing you the orb. It seems very close, but you don't know the orb. And the way to know the orb is we go here to heliacal phases, stars, and Rumenkolev's program is showing you have to even though you have input the data, if you want to check the parents for a given star, you have to input the coordinates and the time zone and the year for every single chart. This takes a lot of time. Not just that, but I have ordered them according to magnitude, up to magnitude 3, but anyhow, you have many stars, and Sirius being the brightest stars in the heavens. Take a look, folks. Here I have input the data again from the software of Brad Pitt, the location, the year 1963. And we have 4 phases. We have morning first, heliacal rising, acronical rising. We have evening last, when a star disappears or a planet in the evening, and we have cosmical setting. And so with morning first and with acronical rising, pay attention here. With morning first, using tropical zodiac, it's at 10 degrees the paran. First of all, let me explain. First of all, the longitude of Sirius is 13 Cancer. Okay, so 13 Cancer. Take a look. It's way up here. It's conjunct the 8th cusp. But again, this is zodiacal projection. We're interested in the actual sky. And so 13 Cancer, there's no contact. Also, acronical rising, it's the same. Now pay attention to Paranetalonta. With again, it's 10 Cancer. So it's very far. For morning rising, for a chronicle rising, it's the same. But when we click evening last, it's at 1305 Ptolemaic, in other words, tropical zodiac, 1305 Gemini, 1305, also for cosmical setting, 1305. And the ascendant, as I've showed, is 1154 Sag. The descendant is 1154 Gemini. In other words, when Brad Pitt was born, Sirius was in Paran, was setting here. So Sirius was on an angle, and Sirius is the brightest fixed star. So small wonder that this guy is world famous. He's a multi-millionaire, etc., etc. And he's a fighter. Sirius is a Martian star, etc., etc. The point is that with Rumenkolev's software, which is paid, which is somewhat expensive, one might say, you have to input you have to input this information, the data, and you have to be checking star by star, and you have to be playing around with morning or evening, And if you input another, if I want to see Angelina Jolie, whether she has parents, I have to input her chart, and then I have to change the location, the coordinates, the zone, the year, and then press compute and then press save. So this is very time consuming. Whereas with Planetdance, this is why I'm showing you that this program is such a gem. Planetdance is, we go to time. So I'm at Brad Pitt. We go to time. So remember 1305 Gemini for Sirius. We go to time, we go to tools, and then we go to pattern analysis. Now don't be frightened by all this data. Again, this is primary directions here and astronomical data, but we go right click, you can configure this, but with data lists we click start listing. And take a look, friends, what Planetdance is doing for us for free. You immediately see two activations here for the parents. Take a look. Sirius, Alpha Canis Major, in other words, the alpha star of the big dog. And Sirius, you see it says set. So Sirius is setting with the parent. And take a look, the 1306. With Kolev's program it was 1305, this is 1306. It's the same thing, 1 minute there, so it could be due to coordinates. But you see, so we have an orb of 1 degree and what's that, 125 or 1105, one difference. So this is here, the way they have programmed it is orb for angles is in degrees of right ascension of the MC, plus minus 1 degree and a half for rising and setting. Amazing, folks. In other words, with Kolev's program, with paid software, you have to strain your eyes and calculate star by star. Whereas here you can immediately see that he has Sirius setting. Again, this is the sky, and he has Antares rising. Actually, this should not be. I mean, it's fine, but Antares is the alpha, the heart of the Scorpion. It's first magnitude star, but Antares is on the ecliptic. So when stars are on the ecliptic, we don't use their parents because again they're very very close to the ecliptic, so we don't use the parent. But anyhow, and I can if someone is doubting me, so to say, let's have some fun. Let's move the ascendant forward, and you will see that the ascendant will be conjunct. Actually, this is that the ascendant will be conjunct Antares. Let's move it by a few minutes backwards. Take a look, folks. Here, the ascendant will be conjunct Antares. Oh, I'm moving the seconds. Sorry. You see, Antares conjunct the ascendant. It went in orb within 1 degree, and I can Antares, etc., etc. This is how I have set now Aldebaran is automatically conjunct the descendant. This is how I have set the program so that it can show me the stars, etc. A very let's close the program and restart so that Brad Pitt's chart is unchanged, 631, etc. So extremely useful, folks, for free. I mean, amazing. So my hat really off to these amazing people at Planetdance. Now moving forward, I showed you the tools, the parents, yes. So let's get to ancient astrology. Let's get first to Hellenistic astrology. So with again right button. So first, so it should not be Arabic. This should be lots, but Arabic parts also known. Here we have calculations of many lots. You can save them and play around with them, and you can select them, and when you press draw, it will include them within the chart. Take a look. I don't want to draw them, so just very much easier, just restart the program and it will be clean. So okay, so let's see. So right button, classical. So we go to add Greek horoscope. Here we have Hellenistic astrology, extremely detailed calculations and features. We see that we can have here, again, you should know what you're doing here, because this is how shall I put it, very, very comprehensive, and you should be, I mean, if you know, these are planetary configurations here, you know, the aspect doctrine, etc., planetary doctrine, etc., etc. Have sect here, we have configurations here for the ruler of the chart and for the domicile master of the nativity, as I call the captain and the owner and the captain, as I like to call them, and I mean as they were called by Porphyry, and the bounds, Egyptian calculations, whole sign or Porphyry, whatever. And let's see, you will notice here that for example, the chart of Novak Djokovic, he was born in 1987, so he turned 35 in May. So the chart is showing here that the annual perfection is red. So the annual perfection oh, sorry, this is Brad Pitt. Well, anyhow, Brad Pitt was born in 1963. It's interesting. Actually, he's in 11th place here. You see, Virgo, because he's 58. He turned 58 in December 2021, and he was 58, which is from the 11th from Sagittarius is Libra, because this is 11th house year, and the green is the month. He is in a Leo month, which is 9th place month relative to the ascendant. So 11th house here, which is Libra, which is obviously ruled by Venus. So Venus is the lord of the year, lady of the year, as some might like to call, and the sun, because Leo is the monthly ascendant, perfected ascendant. The sun rules the lord of the month. Very, very useful. When we right click for outer wheel display, you can choose perfections, or you can choose transits, and you will see the transits. I would rather see the, you see, very useful that it's showing that Saturn is he has a Saturn return, and Saturn is stationing. Very useful. Mars is at 23. Mars is opposing the Sun, etc., etc. Transiting Sun, transiting Moon, if there is such a thing. Yes, there is. For monthly, for daily charts, and for monthly, for monthly charts, the transiting Moon is important. Anyhow, so let's display options. So auto will display. I want to see the fixed stars. Fixed stars are fine, but no, I want to see perfections, or I want to see none, but I want to see the perfections. Okay, let's see. Diamond, a lot of spirit. You can have it swap places with a lot of fortune per valence, and possibly per Nihepso the king. Dodica Timoria, 12 parts, and Antigia. This is valid. The Antigia is only valid for the tropical zodiac. Again, as I showed in my video, the sidereal tropical zodiac, it's the tropical zodiac that's actually the fixed and the idealized zodiac, because the sidereal zodiac, what worked in the past in terms of rising times and Antigia, etc., does not work nowadays, because the sidereal zodiac is no longer coinciding with the idealized tropical zodiac, because the solstices and the equinoxes have moved, so to say. It has moved away from them. Another way of saying, depending on whether we are saying that the Earth is fixed, or the Earth is moving and the stars are fixed. But anyhow, Antigia, contra Antigia, additional lots here, very useful. Robert Schmidt's variation on Eros and necessity. We have data, so many, spare bearing, very, very interesting here, very, very detailed. This is this is priceless. They have gone to the effort to to input this, to program this. And sect analysis, fixed stars, bound listing, curious, if you want to determine the captain of the chart. The curious is you have here calculations that will help you, although it's definitely a judgment call as well. Next, forecasting. Yes, let's get to the ascensional times. very useful. The rising times of the images of the zodiacal signs, very useful. Here they are. And as you see, I'm using a tropical zodiac. How can you tell? Because they're the same. Aries and Pisces, 1964. Taurus and Aquarius, 2310, etc., etc. Next, also that you can see forecasting. Ascensions through the signs. Again, you have to. This is per valence. I'm not gonna explain because it's long. You have to have read valence and to know what we're talking about. Ascensions through the bounds. Yes. We see that. We'll see it later, but his ascendant is. He's 1963, so his ascendant is here. Around 7, what's that, 7 or 7 6, around 13 Aquarius or something. We'll check it later, his the directed ascendant. Here let's see, years and ascensions, extremely useful. This is the only software that I know of that calculates this, and again for free, amazing. This is a combination. This is per Valence Book 7, although it's a very incomplete version, but again no one is offering this. It's a combination of the rising times of the zodiacal signs as well as the rising times of the planets. So you have a combination of, for example, let's see something. He has the moon in Capricorn, and the rising times are 2936, and he has Saturn that the rising the planetary years are 30, as you see. So 30 plus 29 is 5936. So this year he has an activation of the moon in Capricorn plus its domicile lord Saturn. So 5936, in other words, he will be 58 years in his 59th year, when he is 58 in a few months, which is exactly this year, 2022, etc., etc. This is also because he has many planets in Capricorn. All these planets get activated via their, as you see, 5936, etc., etc. Let's see, Decennios. Very grateful for John and Ed, because they had programmed Decennios, but I asked them to give the user the option of Decennios mentioned by Valence of because Valence, unlike Firmicus, Valence, and to some extent also Hephaestion, 5th century, late 4th, early 5th century astrologer, he with Decennios, which is a technique I use every day for over 10 years, and I'm planning on making something, probably a course or tutorial on Decennios. But the point is, there are charts where the sun or the moon fall amiss, they fall in a bad place. Again, it will also change whether we're using porphyry or whole sign houses. And in such charts, you have to start with, if again depending on which astrologer you're following, but you have to start with the planet that's the first planet in zodiacal order after the ascendant. And so by incorporating this feature that I asked, I'm very grateful. Now users can use and start the sequence with another planet, not just with the predominator. Very, very useful. And again, this is, so let's see if we want to start with Mars. Here it is. Mars is the major period. This is the sub period. So Mars, Mercury, Mars, Moon, etc. Mars, Venus, and then the second. Then it's Mercury. Then it's the Moon. Again, depending on the zodiacal order here, as you see. Very, very useful. And this method is using a 360-day year. Let's go with predominator for the anyhow. Okay. Here also there is. Determination according to Ptolemy for the giver of life, known as Helix or Releaser. useful, although I would not use Ptolemy for this because his method is extremely limiting. I prefer other ancient astrologers. Next, years and ascensions, quarters of the moon, which is also a good predictive method, although I don't use it myself. Hellenistic method. Solar return by valence. This is I'm not gonna bother with this. They used to calculate this this type of solar revolution when they did not have when their ephemeris were not accurate enough. So they were this was an approximation because they could not calculate to the exact degree. Anyhow, the people at Planetdance are offering this as well, which is nice because it's an ancient method. This is the so-called Babylonian birthday. Yes, display options. You can have a traditional Hellenistic chart. You can have, as you see, rising times. You can have topical analysis. You can have traditional Hellenistic chart. You can have neo-Hellenistic chart. You can have neoclassical charts, etc., etc. I'd rather have the circular chart for this particular, or I'd rather have when we go to the medieval model, I'd rather have the square wheel. Anyhow, so this is the very, as you see, so much information here, so much yes. So this is for the let's go to the so again, right button, right click, classical. If we go to just Greek, it will show you the lot of fortune angles if you want. So the houses. So Novak Djokovic has second here, diamond is Fortuna. No, he has. Oh, this is actually Brad Pitt because I'm switching. The lot of fortune is in the 12th house. Yes, fortune is in the 12th. You can swap here fortune for spirit as per Valence, although Valence doesn't use it in his actual examples. Next, classical Hellenistic lot listing. Lots of lots here. Yes, lots of lots. You can have text only, etc., etc. Right click. Planetary phases, useful information, velocity, speed, planetary phase, position relative to the sun, useful, the sect, perfections. This is what I really like here. Whose chart is this? Brad Pitt. So let's see, we want to see 5th house here when the Lord of the Year is encountered. So when the native is 16, 28, 40, 52. So 52, 2015, right? And well, the Lord of the Year is Mars, that's true, but Jupiter is in the perfected ascendant. So when we press here, take a look. The month, this is the monthly chart, the monthly perfections and the daily ones. So when we press here, these are, you see the yes, so Mars is the lord of the year, so this is the 5th, and Jupiter is encountered, natal Jupiter, so these are the natal planets. And let's see that you see the font can't catch this. Yes, here. I'm sorry about, but it's he has many planets in Capricorn. So I want to see when the domicile lord is encountered. So he's encountering the Lord of the Year here, which is in the 10th month, right? So this is the first month. He's encountering, let me increase, he's encountering Jupiter, Lord of the natal ascendant. Then second month ruled by Venus, third month Mercury, Moon, Sun, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and here Capricorn. Although the Lord of the month is Saturn, the Lord of the year is encountered here in the 10th month. So this is one way of timing the most important month for the year, etc, etc. Very so, and also here, even if you want to use this on the daily level, when Mars will be encountered, it will be here. You see, when sorry, here, let me decrease the font, here, and also here another time. But this, you know, this calculate, let's see, these perfections are they're different. I would prefer there should be a way to configure them. These are the daily perfections. Every single day they change. I would rather have 12 perfections in a month, 2.5 days. Anyhow, this is based on the ascendant. If you want to perfect the sun, the moon, the lot of fortune, the lot of spirit, the midheaven, you can do so just by clicking. Let's perfect the lot of fortune. So the lot of fortune is natal in Pisces. Let's see, let's perfect the lot of fortune to oh my, it's amazing. You see, I just clicked on this. It actually calculated a chart for the perfection. You see, let's you see Brad Pitt, classical perfection, the lot of fortune. Let's perfect the lot of fortune to, it's in Scorpio, so let's perfect it to Mars, which is the third place here. So 1965, 77, 89, so 89, and if we perfect it to the month, so the first month, calculate, it's doing, you see, 1989 first month. It's showing you the chart. It's showing you the chart with, what's that? It should be the transits. No, sorry, it's the perfections. Obviously, it's not the transits. This is perfections. Why? Because on the 17th of December, the sun is never in Aquarius. It's in late Sag. So these are third place perfections. So the natal sun is at 25 Sag, and now it will come third place here. It will come to 3 places forward to Aquarius. Sag is first, Aquarius, Capricorn is second, Aquarius is third. Getting a little tired here. Okay, so let's close this. Right click, classical, Ptolemaic primary directions. Yes, lots of astronomy here, folks. Not for the mathematically weak or astronomically weak, but anyhow, you have keys here, Ptolemy, Nibot, etc. I myself use Ptolemy in my rectification work and professional work that I rectify, and that I also have a course on astrology course on rectification, the only course that teaches 24-hour rectification using so Nibot is the closest to Ptolemy, and you can have other keys as well, but these are the best ones, and we can check. Let's see, 2022. Let's see. Well, Saturn will come to the ascendant. Let's see. Here is Saturn. It should come to the eastern horizon. Although this is slightly more complicated. Yes, so 2020, something like this, 2027. Although here we would have to use, we're directing through the to the horizon, not to the meridian. So we would have to use, oblique ascension of difference, etc. It's not as easy as with the midheaven, with the right ascension, with the midheaven, where we just you know, add or subtract. Anyhow, very useful feature here. You can for the mathematically inclined, it also, yeah. And let's see, classical perfection, valence days of the moon. The third day, what was it? The third day, the 7th and the 40th day, or was it like that? The 3rd and the 40th are for sure. Next, zodiacal releasing, very, very powerful method. Oops, it's again, we're using the Bulgarian alphabet here, which is Cyrillic, which is not Latin, so it's not recognizing. So Enigma font, and it will show me the glyphs as I want. Great. Now, what I love about Planetdance is that with zodiacal releasing, either from Spirit, Fortune, or some other lot, it's showing me. They have very helpfully programmed it to show. Take a look. Show triplicities. You can remove them. Height level 4. So show triplicities. I want to see. So this is for Brad Pitt. I want to see. So he was born by night. So the moon is the sect light in Capricorn. So the first trigon lord is the moon in Capricorn. The second is Venus in Capricorn, and the third is Mars in Capricorn, as you see here. And here, this feature is showing you that when he hits Capricorn on any level, especially level 1, level 2, or even level 3, it will show you these trigon lords being hit. Yes, the lot of fortune is in Scorpio, so Capricorn is not a pivotal relative. It's not at a stake relative to the lot. Nevertheless, it's actually the lord of the lot of fortune, and yes, and it's the triplicity lord, dragon lord. You can have the lot of buses. You can have the lot of exaltation also. You can have fortune 10th or fortune 11th. In other words, with fortune being in Scorpio, it would be Leo is the fortune 10th and Virgo is the fortune 11th. As you see, fortune 11th, which is also the natal MC. You see, so, and when you click here, it's showing you level 3 and level 4. Very, very useful. So again, you can configure this however you want. You can remove the triplicities or the fortune 10th and 11th, and symbols. Oh, I want to see the symbols. Of course, I want to see the symbols. And you can show outer planets. I don't want them. I don't black and white. And I want the triplicities. I want the fortune 10th and 11th. Yes. So very, very useful if you want to. Again, if the program is somehow slow or something, you can just pick a zodiacal sign. So let's see, he has, as you see, Daimon is the lot of spirit is in Capricorn. So we can. So yes, it's Capricorn. So from fortune is from Scorpio. But if something is off here with the calculation, you can just select a given sign and start from Gemini. For whatever reason, anyhow. Yeah, so this is for zodiacal releasing, very useful. Again, you can do it like this. You can this is a little big, but you can do it like this. Yes, and you see, very very useful, and you can. Yes, so this is it for zodiacal releasing. Let me quickly go over the. How are we with time? I should be closing. And let's see. I want to make sure I have a very detailed video about this. It's not a complete video because, as you see, there's hundreds of features and options, etc. But so classical, I showed all that. Next should be medieval. Fixed stars I showed you. Interpretation, make transit, medieval. Let's see, moving wheel. Yes, I showed you everything. So medieval, Uranus parts or lots. Right click, font size. It's useful. Again, we can increase or decrease, etc., etc. Right click, medieval, go to medieval. Horary astrology, useful. Yes, the day hour and the day lord and the hour lord are mandatory to be shown. They show them. Great. Trigon lords, bounds. Yes, the day ruler type. Yes, great. Nothing to add here to touch something. Oh wow! Again, we have choose additional lots, significant data. Yes, we showed this, but here significator analysis, graphs, auto view display, none, show via combustor, show additional, help. Let's see, I briefly caught a glimpse of something that significator, considerations before judgment. This was not, this is added here. Lord of the Ascendant and the Ascendant in the same triplicity. Is this accurate? Yes, it is. The Ascendant is Sag and the Lord of the Ascendant Jupiter is in Aries. Correct. So so I was gonna say that the chart is radical, although it's an activity, but yeah, let's have some fun at the end. Okay, so medieval Fredaria. Yes, you can have it like this. This is the nativity, this is the Fredaria. When I press here, it's showing me. Yes, yes. I configured it again. This is the correct the correct sequence, that the node should go after Mars and the Sun. Again, I use Fredaria in my professional work, also in rectification. I teach it. I also let's see, when we here on my website, when you go to blog, when you scroll down and go to search and write Fredaria, here is an article I wrote about the nocturnal sequence, Bonatti versus Abu Mashar, and I showed a real life example chart, very telling that Abu Mashar and the others were wrong. Bonatti was right, that the node should go after Mars, and obviously not the only one. Bonatti was the first. Robert Zoller and his students, I'm one of them, and also Regulus Astrology, he published a book. He also explained this in short charts with Fredaria, the correct sequence, namely the nodes after Mars, so between Mars and the Sun. So anyhow, this is because a lot of astrologers are theorizing, you know. It's actual practice, actual professional practice with charts that are really telling. Again, I can leave a link in the description for this article. You will see what happened to the native and to her children was, you know, she will never forget what happened. I mean, it's yeah. So anyhow, moving on. Medieval traditional chart. Yes, this is where we come to another feature that Planetdance is really shining and leading, pioneering the way. So here we have, let's see, dignities, essential dignities. We have again Trigon Lords, whether it's their sect base or Dorothean, etc., etc. The bounds, yes, the day ruler. Again, I've selected the settings that the way I use them, and so what's very valuable here is that, so when we right click, again we have this same setting, same features as in the Hellenistic chart, mostly, but not all. So choose additional lots, nothing new here. Data, temperament, William Lilly's method, Amazing, they have programmed this. Victor of the chart, triplicity lot analysis, phases, aspects, moiety, major lots, Antigia, mutual receptions, mixed receptions, medieval divisions, monomoria, sect analysis, fixed stars, yes, and again depending on the orb here, and you see Antares, they show you the longitude of the star and also the planetary nature, which is also really helpful. I like that. Again, this is more medieval because again, according to ancient astrology, we don't use when a given fixed star is conjunct a planet, it's not valid. I mean, very rare cases you will find astrologers say that, such as Sao in Bisher of the 9th century, that a fixed star could be conjunct the Lord of the Ascendant. But fixed stars are only valid as per Hermes and Anonymous when they are conjunct the Sun, the Moon, the lights, which are not planets, which are special set of planets, the lights, Sun, the Moon, the Ascendant, the Midheaven, the Descendant, and some astrologers include the Lot of Fortune, and also others include the 4th house cusp. A star can be conjunct a planet, but this planet should be at an angle and conjunct an angle and conjunct a star. So this way, the planet is conjunct an angle and conjunct a star, so it's in a pattern with an angle and with a star. This way, it's permissible. We have ancient sources, but anyhow, this is medieval. They kind of, how shall I put it, innovated, or but whatever. It's valuable. It's valuable to see the planetary natures, and yeah. Next, yes, outer wheel display. I have transits. You can have fixed stars. You can have additional lots, or you can have none. I prefer to see the transits. And with the other wheel, I prefer to see the perfections with the Hellenistic wheel that I showed you, the Hellenistic module. Okay, data. Additional lots, yes, miscellaneous data, yes, this is overall, for the sect, etc. No planets in proper phase, also very useful. No planets in Dystoria. Okay, let's see, auto display. Yes, I should display options, traditional square chart. You can have a traditional square chart, although there are some lots here that I would rather have removed that are cluttering the chart, and they're not written there. They're glyphs for these lots, not sure what these lots mean really. All of them, I mean. There are some that are, hermetic or some other lots, but anyhow, let's get back to the square chart and to the circular chart, and so extra charts, prenatal CZG. Yes, it's useful to see. Yes, prenatal CZG is a 23 Sag. It's in the ascendant. It's not conjunct the ascendant, but it's in the ascendant, which is also an eminence factor actually. Whether it's in the ascendant or on the midheaven, as per Hephaestion, 5th century astrologer. Let's see, extra chart display options. Again, I'm not gonna. I already did the display options. Yes, and this is the truly valuable part here, folks. Forecasting solar return. This is his latest solar return, 2021. See, so Capricorn, first place. So the natal ascendant. The second house rises, the second sign, Capricorn, etc., etc. And we have. This is the chart, and we can have it like this. Solar return, the nativity. I showed you. If we go to. If we go here, we can have a bi-wheel chart of. Let's see. Brad Pitt, forecasting, solar return, copy to picture, copy to clipboard. Now let's see. I want to see Brad Pitt return, solar return, start. Yes, and now I will go to File, Synastry by Wheel. Inner wheel is Brad Pitt, outer wheel is solar return. Okay, now I will get to see the solar return. As you see, solar return is solar return ascendant is here. It's in the second natal house. If we're using actually also quadrant houses or whole sign houses, anyhow. So you get to see this. Or is there another way of, if we go to synastry, well, yeah, this was it. But anyhow, so let's solar return. So what I wanted to show was that here with forecasting, the annual forecasting summary. This is really golden, folks. Let me make a screenshot here with my free software Screen Hunter, and it will be here. And let me open it. Let me zoom in so you see better. So take a look here that let me calculate the solar return. So right click, forecasting, solar return chart. Yes. So what this is showing for Brad Pitt is it's showing the natal placements, ascendant in Sag, sun in Sag, etc. It's showing the transiting positions, that Saturn is transiting through, passing through Aquarius, Jupiter is passing through Aries, etc., etc. And as you see, it's actually late Pisces here. Or is it? Sorry about that. You know what? My mistake. It's just I'm getting a little tired. The transits, because there is a solar return here. These are the transits as of the 14th of October 2022. And so the transits is that Jupiter is in late Pisces, Saturn is in Aquarius. As you see, confirmation, because the Sun in October is always in Libra, obviously up to 23rd of October. So the Sun, Venus, and Mercury are in Libra, and Mars is in Gemini. Yes, currently Mars will make a first station at the end of October. Moon is in Gemini, etc. So these are the transits. Then we have the Lord of the Year, which is here, which is Venus. Also, as you see here, Lord of the Year, Venus. And we see that the Lord of the Month is the Sun. So he is in an 11th place here and 9th place month, Leo. Again, natal positions, and then we have the solar return positions. Confirmation, the ascendant is in Capricorn. As we see here, the solar return chart for Brad Pitt, his latest solar return, the ascendant is in Capricorn, 7 Capricorn. And again, the ascendant is in Capricorn. Let's see. Here Jupiter and Saturn and Venus are in Aquarius. Confirmation 27, 10, and well, Venus is in Capricorn. So it's just that yes, Venus, you see the arrow here is for Capricorn. Anyhow, and yeah, so the natal house cusp, because they have programmed it in a way that it's showing both the quadrant houses and the whole sign houses, because there is some difference. Distributions, very helpful here. The ascendant is the pink, so we see that the distributed ascendant is in the confines, is in the bounds of, is in Aquarius, in the bounds of Venus. So Venus is the distributor of the ascendant, whereas the midheaven is the dark, the black, and it's in the bounds of Saturn, meaning this is the lot of fortune, but Saturn rules from 19 to 24 Scorpio. So the midheaven is between 19 and 24, and we can check that with, but I'm not going to bother now, I showed earlier, with the primary directions and also the distributions. So reference date, if we change the date, let me close the solar return, if we change the date here, it will change the month. Let's see. The Lord of the month is the Sun, the 9th month, as you see here, Lord of the month is the Sun because it's Leo. Now when I fast forward 1 month and go right button, forecasting, annual forecasting, now the Lord of the month is Virgo. So the sign of the month is Virgo, and Mercury is the Lord of the month, etc. And the transits are also changing, as you see, transit scope. That you know, the Sun is in Scorpio now with Venus and Mercury, not in Libra as in the previous month, etc., etc. So this is really useful. I mean, I have not seen it in another software. And again, outer wheel forecasting, annual directed ascendant through the bounds, yes. This is the solar return ascendant through the bound, very useful. I would like to see the planets also, though, the aspects of the planets, the ascendant, the solar return ascendant aspecting the solar return planets or the natal planets. This is the way the ancients did it. Let's see, Brad Pitt, there was also with classical circumambulations through the bounds. I missed that. We have, you know, the ascendant is Sag, as you see, then it's Venus, then it's Mercury, then it's, and currently he is in the Venus bounds of Aquarius, as we showed, as I just showed, since November 2019. So we can extrapolate where the bound is very closely. Let's see, do I have something else to show? Medieval. Temperament calculation, I showed this from yes, and also last thing is routine of Hermes. I don't use this for rectification, it doesn't work reliably enough. It can be used for an approximate rectification, although again there are tricks that you need to know about this. But anyhow, it's a they have programmed it. It's a useful feature because not many programs offer it. And again, this has taken loads and loads of work, and it's free. It's you know, the generosity of these people, you know, really touches me. Various, I'm not gonna bother here. So I think this was it, folks. I think this was it. Declinations, calendar, I showed you the calendar, cartography, classical, interpretation. There is interpretation here that can be, you know, they are warning that these texts are meant for educational purposes, cannot be compared to the work of a good human astrologer, obviously, but you get some short interpretations. This can be lengthened if someone is willing to write an art and contribute, etc. So I think this was it, folks. Various Vedic, yes, this was it. This was my longest video so far, but as you see, this software is such a gem. It's so useful that really fortunate to be able to, you know, to use it, and very grateful for the people because they're open-minded and they have some other suggestions on how to improve the software by incorporating other features, in regards to ancient astrology. So they let's close here by showing that they have a forum here. I'm a member of the forum, although I haven't contributed for a long time, I believe 1 year or something. I got distracted elsewhere, and yeah, so they have, if you have some useful suggestions, something that can improve the software and that's worth incorporating, that's possible to do and it's not too much trouble, do not hesitate to write to these very generous, very good people. So this was my tutorial on the amazing Planetdance astrology software. I hope you found it instructional. If this is my channel, Ancient in Chinese Astrology, if you'd subscribe and like, I would appreciate it. If you have a question or comment about this software or about this video, I would be happy to answer to you. Thank you.